I saw the overview presentation from Senator Hanson on One Nation's new oil and gas policy. It's good to see that now on the Australian political scene, there are adults in the room, finally. Not going to quote Senator Hanson word for word or anything like that. Just going to go over the overview that I saw. And I think Senator Hanson may have said it's a bold plan or something like that. And 100%. It's quite amazing, some of it. Going to do a 30% rebate and end up perhaps with a up to 30% equity share in offshore projects. And not only with exploration, through production and decommissioning. Now that's big money. The exploration is bad enough, but when you come to develop fields offshore, the big stuff, big money. And it can be pretty extensive before any revenue starts coming back, any inflows start coming back to any fund that's set up. I mean, the seismic and everything can look good at the start. You mobilise a rig, you go out there, dusters. And the taxpayer may be wearing that. And that's oil and gas. That's why when you hear all this stuff about all these mosquitoes, this rage baiting coming out of Australia, gas tax and all that sort of shit, and as staggering as the cost would be, once you get into the development stage, the exploration stage, it's still expensive. You get into development and it's big money. And if you're dealing with multiple projects that the government may have up to, I'm not saying 30%, but that's maybe in the billions and billions. That can take a long time to return. And when it does return, it could be huge. Or it could be huge for a year, and then that field, might start depleting quicker than what they thought. The wells need more intervention. They're shut in. It's lost production time. It's huge. There's no really fixed cost of anything, and you can do projections and you can look at the reservoir dynamics, but you never really know until you open the choke and the well's flowing, and is it drawing down? Is it whatever? Now, also a reduction in tape, like green tape. I think they're trying to get it down 6-month approval times. That would be amazing. One Nation is looking to form the Australian National Wealth Investment Corporation or a similar body, run from the industry, which would be fantastic. It means the fund will probably generate money. But this is at the end of the day, it's like maybe the great leap forward for Australia if something like this happened. Because if something like this happened, it would mean, well, I assume it would mean One Nation would be in a position of power to do this, which means One Nation may also be in a position of power to end this net zero once and for all, end Paris climate Accords, and all that money saved, well, maybe they can pay that off the debt or put it in defence. They're going to replace the PRRT, Petroleum Resource Rent Tax, for future projects or something like that. As I say, don't hold me to any of this. Just doing an overview on the little bit of information I can see on it. It looks like One Nation may also be looking at something like a flat royalty of 10% at the wellhead. Long term, it would take a while to get initial returns because it takes a bit of time. It can be up to a decade, actual first gas. I'd be worried about the changing governments in between that. Would this become a target and an obsession of the left because it may be very good for Australia, so they'll probably hate every word of it because that's maybe what the left is all about. Look at the regime in Australia now. Now, there's one thing, it does go over employment and things like that briefly. The one thing I'd like to see attached to this would be the nationalisation of the oil and gas workforce. I'd like to see Australia do exactly that. and include that in this. And that is all oil and gas exploration, or the drilling rigs, or the production platforms, the FPSOs, everything, Australian nationals. But the nationalisation of the workforce would be a boom for Australians. And then you'll get the argument of higher costs and all that. Well, what's good for Australia? And show me another country, non-Western countries, that by their own actions don't do what I just said. They're not stupid. They look after their own people. There's probably a lot more I could say on it. As I've been on the whole time on this channel, pretty much going against the narrative in Australia about this tax in oil and gas, the way they want to do it. By the polls in Australia, the nightmare that is happening to Australia now, there may be a bit of light. Thanks for watching. I'll keep rambling on another one.